Welcome back, everyone. I want to thank you for your continual comments, questions, and just helpful feedback for what we do here at Fair Recovery. It's a joy and it's an honor, but interacting with many of you has been a lot of fun and is always very insightful because I know what it's like to be where many of you are. I understand the pain, the hurt, and I always want this to be a safe place. I always want this to be a place where you can process, where you can heal. And I consider myself one of the most fortunate human beings alive because I get email and comments from you on all kinds of different social media platforms that are so encouraging, so uplifting, so kind. I cry at so many of them because they hit me right where I'm at. My hope has always been to hit you right where you are at. Just recently, my friend and therapist Tom Gagliano came in and threw out the term destructive entitlement. And today we're going to talk about that because it affects us more than we know. It can affect the betrayed as well as the unfaithful. So today I want to kind of deconstruct that, talk about that a little bit, and really help us all understand how this plays a part in the unfaithful, as well as at some level the betrayed spouse, because I think if we can have a better understanding of this, we can heal and we can find a greater measure of freedom for ourselves. Destructive entitlement is when we take a superior position to others, don't take into account their pain, their needs, their wants, their humanity. We put ourselves in a superior position which entitles us to do what we think we deserve. It's when we take a position that our needs, our wants, our pain, our story is more important than our partner's. And because we have felt X, we get to do, or we should get to do Y. In this paradigm, love becomes a scoreboard where it's like, hey, I'm doing this, you're doing that, something's wrong, what gives? This isn't working. You should be doing this because I'm doing all these things. It actually can play out if we come from faith as well because we can say, look, God, I'm doing or I have done all these things. You're not doing your part. And if we don't come from faith, it says, look, I'm doing all this stuff. Nothing's coming back to me. You know what? I'm going to take matters into my own hands. We can take matters into our own hands with God. We can take matters into our own hands with society. And we can say, hey, this is wrong. I deserve this because I've done that. And anybody that's going to get in my way is a speed bump. It can look like this. You know what? I've closed $1 million deal or a several $1 million deal. I should be able to get to do these things. And the problem is those things are typically immoral, selfish, self-absorbed, and we don't take into account how us fulfilling our selfish needs is going to play out in our marriage, in our family, in our spouse or significant other's life. We elevate our needs and we think we are then justified in acting out, using drugs, exploiting the others around us because we have a destructive entitlement that says, I should be able to do these things. Destructive entitlement is in many ways the antithesis of empathy because it says, well, you were doing this or you were not doing that, so I had an affair, looked at porn, went to massage parlors or escorts or what have you. You were supposed to be fulfilling my needs, so you weren't, so I was forced to take matters into my own hands as an unfaithful, so I went and got my needs met. That's not empathy, that is destructive entitlement. So here are a few ways to mitigate, undercut, extinguish, heal, treat this destructive entitlement. Number one is we have to be willing to heal the inner child the inner pain, the inner trauma inside of us. For example, if we were neglected or abused as a child, we can take the approach in our relationship that says, hey, I'm going to get what's due to me. I'm getting mine. You didn't do what you were supposed to do. You didn't fulfill my needs. So I'm going to get my needs met. And that can come from abuse or neglect when you were a child. It can come from some incredibly deep hurt and pain that we're not even aware of until we start to approach it. Because when we felt neglected or abandoned or abused, we can take an approach that says, no one's going to look out for me but me. So here we go. I'm going to take matters into my own hands. And as much as I'd love to get away from this concept, never have to keep talking about it, I have to tell you that forgiveness is a way of healing the need inside of us for this destructive entitlement. It could be our partner or spouse. It could be people that hurt us when we were young. It could be people that have violated our trust. But without forgiveness, it's going to be very difficult to diffuse the destructive entitlement inside of us. Forgiveness helps us find our own freedom so that we don't have to lash out to everyone else around us. And it gives us a sense of inner peace to not have to say, I'm going to get mine. No. We don't have to exact vengeance on, for example, our betrayed spouse who we say, look, you didn't fulfill your end of the bargain, so I, the unfaithful, have to forgive you so that I can set myself free and establish new pathways and new patterns of behavior so I don't keep acting out or acting in. Next is to begin to really understand that we have to respect and embrace the boundaries of our partner. If we can't embrace their boundaries, we're going to continue to violate their trust. We're going to continue to harm them. We're going to continue to look like the bad guy because, quite honestly, we are the bad guy if we can't respect their boundaries. Respecting your partner's boundaries is a way of showing love, is a way of showing respect. And if we continue to violate those boundaries, how can we expect our significant other to respect us and want to respect our boundaries? Finally, there's a concept called integration. And it's close to what I mean by integrity, but integration is about doing an integrated approach to healing yourself. Like group work, some of you just threw up, I know, but group work is essential. It'll change your life. Finding expert help from an objective third party who is not a jack of all trades, who is not just dabbling in healing, but has been doing this for 10 to 20 some odd years, has been through it themselves as an expert, has had training in it, and can really help you on an expert level. It's also being able to, if your partner is allowing you, have these calm, peaceful, maybe even facilitated by that objective third party discussions where you can share your voice, they can share their voice, they can talk about their needs in a very controlled, safe way. It's about being able to not just take one piece of the puzzle and go, yeah, we're just going to get expert help. No, you can get expert help. You can do some group work. You can go onto our website, for example, and do some research and do maybe our free boot camp or one of our courses for the unfaithful or the betrayed. There's so many ways to have an integrated approach to healing. But if we just take one little vein, if you will, and only do that, we miss out on the opportunity to support both ourselves and our partner in an integrated way. If you are struggling with this concept today, if you feel like, you know what, I have had destructive entitlement in my own life, the great news is you see it. You're aware of it. What you cannot accept, you cannot heal. So if this resonated with you today, you can reach out. You can go to affairrecovery.com. You can leave a comment here. Either myself or our staff will do everything that we can to help you. If you are trying to grab hold of this concept, maybe it would be a good idea to talk to your partner and help them see how this is playing out in your life. If your partner won't speak with you, look for an expert in your area that can help you see this. I promise you, it'll change your life, it'll change your recovery, and it'll absolutely change every relationship in your life.